Upon my first viewing of I Saw the TV Glow, I was dumbstruck. The way the film tackles the subject of trans identity through a lens of paranoia and surrealism absolutely floored me. I was similarly affected by how the substance infused body horror with the fear of aging as related to the gendered expectation of women in the entertainment industry. Both 2024 films affected me on a deeply emotional level, and I was amazed at how they both explored their themes with such visceral vulnerability. What if I told you one of the most unsettling films about identity, about repressed sexuality and the fear of aging came out nearly 60 years before I Saw the TV Glow or The Substance? My name is Wes King, and this is Screen Brulee, where we crack through the surface of our favorite films to get to the rich and creamy, deeper meaning. Let's get into it. That movie is John Frankenheimer's 1966 paranoid thriller, Seconds. At its surface, Seconds is about Arthur, an aging man who, having followed what society expects of him instead of living authentically, finds he hates his life. He decides to fake his death and undergo intense plastic surgery to start life anew as a younger man, Tony. However, underneath the surface, it's a searing critique of conforming to a prescribed life and the horrors of repressed queer identity. When Seconds begins, we meet Arthur Hamilton, played by John Randolph, an aging man who has passively gone through life, living it exactly as he was expected to. He gave up his pursuit of tennis to become a banker. He married his wife Emily, played by Frances Reed, because he was expected as a young man to begin a family. As Emily remarks about Arthur later on in the film,
"Fought so hard for what he'd been taught to want. When he got it, he just grew more and more confused."
This is a story of a heavily repressed, closeted gay man who's only ever lived a lie. While it's never explicitly stated that Arthur is a closeted gay man, there are several clues throughout the film to support this interpretation, particularly the two scenes that take place in Arthur's study. The study is a highly symbolic setting in this film. When we first see it, it's starkly lit and shuttered. It's a place where Arthur comes to hide from the world, a place where he takes secret phone calls from a man he used to know very well. When we next see the study, much like how Arthur has transformed into Tony, the study has transformed as well. It's these scenes in this room that hold the keys to unlock the mystery of Arthur's misery, his repressed sexual identity. At the beginning of the film, prior to Arthur's transformation, we see Arthur locked up in his study, waiting for a phone call. We can sense Arthur's paranoia through the rhythm of the scene. This terse rhythm builds up such a great paranoid tension that is then broken by the shocking sound of the phone ringing.
It's me again. Arthur?
The voice on the line announces itself as Charlie, a friend Arthur believes to be dead.
Charlie Evans.
Stop saying that. Charlie Evans is dead. Now I want you to stop this or I'll be forced to call the police.
Charlie convinces Arthur that it is really him by directing him to a portrait of the two of them after winning a tennis championship many years ago.
And walk over to them.
The severe camera angles and movements really amp up the anxiety that Arthur is feeling in this moment.
Are you there?
Yes.
In the picture, you and I are...
Charlie recounts that they bought each other matching wristwatches to celebrate.
We're both wearing the same kind of wristwatch. Remember we gave them to each other after winning the doubles at Princeton?
Yes.
Okay. Take the doubles trophy there and turn it over.
And reminds Arthur of the inscription made at the bottom of their trophy.
One edge of the felt is loose. Pull it back. Fidelis Eternus.
Which is Latin for eternally faithful. This is a strong indication of the kind of relationship Arthur and Charlie once had, and in a post-Challengers world, I think we can all agree that they used to play tennis together is the new, and they were roommates.
Oh God, they were roommates.
Charlie ends the call by telling Arthur that he can get a whole new start, a whole new life, if he contacts a secret company. He awakens later that night in a cold sweat. Emily tries to comfort him, and he remains cold, unresponsive. The next day at work, he's staring at his wristwatch. Perhaps just checking the time, but the extreme close-up seems almost as if it is hinting at something more than just Arthur's impatience at work. Especially when they could have used an angle like this for him to check his watch. As if something or someone is occupying his mind.
We're both wearing the same kind of wristwatch.
Following this scene, he decides to go through with it. Arthur contacts the company and after a significant process becomes Tony, played by Rock Hudson. He begins his new life, like so many gay men before and after him, by moving to Los Angeles to become an artist. Shortly after settling in, he meets Nora, played by Salome Jens. She's a slightly eccentric blonde woman who reads tarot cards and talks to the ocean. Which is a really funny stereotype because I swear every queer man's first friend upon moving to LA is always an eccentric tarot reading blonde woman. One day, she's reading his tea leaves when she tells him,
"What kind of a man was he?" There's grace in the line and color, but it doesn't emerge pure. It pushes at the edge of something still tentative, unresolved, as if somewhere in the man there is still a key unturned.
Arthur tries his hardest to be Tony, but when his new life seems to be just as inauthentic as his old life, he returns to his former home, pretending to be an acquaintance of his former self in order to talk to his former wife in hopes she can tell him something about Arthur that he can't seem to figure out about himself.
We shared an interest in art. The last time I saw him, I did some sketches. Now I'd like to do a painting.
This scene is in stark contrast to the rest of the film. Gone are the severe angles and bombastic editing, and instead this scene, which may very well be the emotional crux of the entire film, is gently slowing, favoring the emotionality of the performances. And after all of the unspoken pleas to his former wife for her to hand him an identity, she hands him nothing else other than the tennis trophy he won with Charlie all those years ago.
Mr. Wilson, you said that you wanted a memento. It won't be a painting, I'm afraid, but it's all I have.
It's almost as if the film is waving it right in front of Arthur's face. It wasn't his youth he was missing. It was the time he spent with Charlie.
Fidelis Eternus.
Much like I Saw the TV Glow, Seconds is a reminder of how suffocating living inauthentically can be, and how paranoia-inducing living in the closet is. And much like The Substance, it's a critique of the capitalist pressure on the human body, and how society values youth and beauty above authenticity and self-love. They are all uniquely horrifying films that would make a great triple feature to remind anyone watching that there's no better time than the present to start making a better life for yourself.
That's quite an analysis.
Thank you so much for watching this video analysis of Seconds. Please give this video a like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe if you want more content like this. At the time of this video being published, Seconds is available to stream on Canopy, which is a movie and television streaming service that is offered through many public libraries and is completely free of charge. And it is also available on physical media through the Criterion Collection. I highly recommend you give it a watch. Thank you again for watching to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.